Hi everyone! So for your maths lesson today, we are going to be carrying on with what we would have done if we were in school, which, as you know, was our fractions test. It's going to be a bit of a different type of test, but it's going to be the same questions that you would have done in your exercise books. So you just need to watch this video carefully to understand how you answer the questions. I'm not going to do any more teaching because this is all stuff you already know. But you will need to make sure that you have a pencil and a piece of paper next to you while you're doing this test, because some of the questions, in fact a lot of them, might require you to do a bit of working out, and if you don't do your working out, it's going to be very tricky for you to get the correct answers. So make sure you've got a pen and paper with you. When you open up the test, the first screen you'll see is this. It will say fractions test 1 and it will ask you for your name. So I'm going to add my name, Miss Bernarda. And then you can go through to the first question. So you can see here it says question 1. Make sure you read each question carefully. It says, look at the picture carefully, then answer below. Here are some shapes. What fraction of the shapes are triangles? What fraction of the shapes are squares? Now, because this is a picture, you can't actually answer on there, but there's going to be a space for you to answer at the bottom. So you can see those same questions are written here. And it says, what fraction of the shapes are triangles? That was the first question there. So I need to look at the picture and figure out the answer. What I suggest you do is you actually write down the answer on your piece of paper before you click your answer onto the screen. That's to make sure that you've worked it out correctly before you get confused by all the different options, because a lot of the options are there to trick you. So once I've figured out what the answer is, whichever one I think it is, I'm just going to put a silly answer for now, just put a random one, blah, 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 blah. If I think that's my answer, I click it and I leave it there. And then I do the next question, so I click my answer and I leave it there. These are not the right answers necessarily, I'm just clicking a random one. And then I go to the next page, and that will take me to the next question. So now you'll see it says question 2. Which of these are unit fractions? So you can see a picture, and there's lots of different fractions given. And for this one, instead of having to select just one, it says select all the unit fractions. So if you've already done your English work this morning, you'll recognize these little check boxes, and you have to check all the ones that you think are fractions. So all the ones that you think are unit fractions. So if I think all 4 of those are unit fractions, I click all of them, and then I click next. Next question, question number 3, says look at this number line. And then I've had a look at it, I can see there's some boxes, and it says what is the first missing decimal? So I need to type in my answer, type in whatever you think. Oh, what's happened? I've lost the page. Type in whatever you think it is. Blah, 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 blah. Type in the second answer, what's the second missing decimal? Type it in. Blah, 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 blah. Of course, these are not the correct answers, I'm just giving an example. And click next. Question 4. Which symbol should go in the middle? Now this is definitely a question I think you should use your piece of paper and a pen for, because it's asking you which is the symbol that should go in the middle out of these 3. And the only way we can work that out is if we work out the answers to these different fractions of amounts. So have a think. Do you remember how to work out the fraction of an amount? You might need to draw something in your book in order to work it out. And then you put the correct symbol, whichever one you think it is, which side's greater or equal to, you click it and you click next. This is the same type of question, so you're going to need to do some new working, but question 5 is the same as question 4, you just need to select which symbol, and these are circles, so you can't click more than one at the same time, you can only check one, because only one of them is correct. Then you're going to have some worded questions. Question 6 says, Tim has 16 grapes. He gives 1/8 of the grapes to Sam. How many grapes does he give to Sam? So it's asking you how many grapes. You might need to do some working, and then for this one, you just type your answer. So if you think the answer is 12, then you put 12 and you click next. And next question, I need to correct that, I should say fractions, but think about equivalent fractions. It says, shade half of the shape. Now obviously we can't shade this shape because we haven't got it printed out, but have a think in your head, can you imagine what it would look like if half of that shape were shaded in? So how much would you have to shade in to make half of that shape? Then it says complete the equivalent fraction. So it's given you 1/2, it's given you the equal sign to say it's equivalent, and it's given you part of a fraction. It has two questions here. What number should go in the box? So in this box, what number should go there? If you can remember what the different parts of a fraction mean, you might be able to figure out what number is supposed to go in the box. And then the next question says, what does the box represent? Now you can see I tried to skip past this question and it came up with this exclamation mark because it says this is a required question. So if I'm not sure of the answer, I need to try to have a guess and write something. But try not to guess, try to work it out. So let's pretend I think it's 1. I don't, but I'm just giving you an example. And then the last question, what does the box represent? Is it the numerator or the denominator? You click whichever one you think it is, and you click next. Then the last question is another worded question. Aisha has a bag of marbles. She gives this much of the bag to Heidi. Aisha has 12 marbles left. How many marbles did she have to begin with? Now this is a very tricky question and you need to try and think about how you're going to work this out. You might need to do a few steps of working before you get at your final answer. You don't need to give any explanations here, you just need to give your answer. So let's just say, I'm going to say 1000. I don't think she did, but I submit it and then my response has been recorded and you will actually get to view your score at the end to see how well you did on the test. So that's all you've got to do. Go through the test, do your working on a piece of paper or in a book and log all your answers and submit it, and I'll be able to see your scores and you'll also be able to see how you did at the end. Good luck everybody. Try to remember as much as you can about fractions and if there's anything you get confused on, I will check the answers and see what people found tricky and we'll go through some of the answers tomorrow in tomorrow's lesson.